Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my future card Buddyfight Sun Dragon deck profile for post Super Buddy Wars EX. This is probably the deck I was the most excited to build out of the entire set. I am a big fan of, Sun Dragon, Ball Dragon, and just the overall, purpose of his deck using Ball Soleil and all the many different impact monsters. And with Super Buddy Wars EX, we received new support to really pump up the power of the Sun Dragon deck altogether with the link attacks you can do during the final phase with your new impact monster and our new Dragon Force as well. So definitely recommend it. Probably one of the more affordable decks with some of the new cards we have from the latest set. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the deck, once again being Dragon World as Gal Mikado's second Buddy monster, I decided to go with the newest card for the Buddy for the deck, Apical Sun Deity Ball Dragon. With this card just being your best option for the overall setup you can do with all the different Sun Dragon cards we have in the deck, and just being overall a great card to rely on for, our impact monsters and just our overall playstyle for Ball Soleil in the deck, giving us two playstyles, either focus on the impact monster or to go into Ball Soleil all together. So just having this option makes it for the perfect buddy, I'd say, for the deck all together. For the monsters in the deck, I am running 4 Apical Sun Deity Ball Dragon. With this one, you pay 1 gauge, put the top card of your deck into its soul. Counter, Bestis Battler Ball, I believe is the name of his Bestis Better Ball is his ability. You call one size 2 or greater monster with Ball Dragon or Ball Soleil in its card name from your drop zone on top of this card without paying its call cost. You may only use Bestis Better Ball once per turn, and damage dealt to your opponent by card effects of Sun Dragon monsters with this card in its soul cannot be reduced, and it also has Penetrate and Soul Guard, so just being able to rely on this card for that setup and just the easy call out of your Ball Soleil or one of your other Ball Dragon monsters is a big plus for sure. You can even call out impact monsters during the attack phase, so just being able to rely on that makes it one of the best Sun Dragons we've gotten in a long time, just for its overall setup for sure. For some of the other Ball Dragon cards that I'm running in the deck, just for overall playstyle setup, I'm also running 3 Style of Impact Ball Dragon. You pay 1 life. Ball Dragon Force, when this card enters the field, you may choose and use one of the following 2. Ball Dragon Force only activates once per turn. You can put the top 3 cards of your deck into your gauge, or you can put up to 1 Sun Dragon item from your deck into your hand and then shuffle your deck. So you can either search for your Dragon Force or just set up gauge for more of your impact monster plays, because you can definitely go through your gauge quite quickly with this deck, so just being able to rely on that is a big plus for sure for that overall setup. Apical Sun Deity Ball Dragon is our main one to go into, but just having Style of Impact as the backup is a big plus for sure. And then to the backup of that, I am also running 2 Overturn Sun Dragon Ball Dragon. You put the top card of your deck into its soul and then pay 2 gauge. When this card attacks, the top card of your deck you place into your gauge, and for this turn, this card on your field gets plus 5,000. It's also got Penetrate and Soul Guard, and this Ball Dragon has Overturn. By paying 1 life during your final phase, call up to 1 impact monster from your deck by paying its call cost and shuffle your deck. So just that overall playstyle, if all your impact monsters are still in your deck, you can rely on Overturn Sun Dragon, Ball Dragon, and being able to call it over your Apical Sun Deity Ball Dragon from the drop zone if it's set up, just being able to do this, and then have the impact monster call from your deck, and then just being able to call out another Apical Sun Deity, and then having the impact monster, let's say, in your drop zone as another attack play to go into also. I only run the 2 though. You can only use Overturn once per fight, so just being able to have this card as that option is a big plus for sure, but you have other Sun Dragon options to rely on also in the deck to go for. And then for the added Sun Dragon backup for the deck, I'm also running 3 Loyal Dragon Flare Fang Dragon. If you have another original size 3 Sun Dragon on your field, this card's size on the field is reduced by 1, making it a size 0, so at least it can stay on the field with Ball Soleil on the field. And when a size 2 or greater Sun Dragon monster enters your field, put the top card of your deck into your gauge and draw a card. This ability only activates once per main phase and once during final phase, so just more gauge build up with this card. Having another monster is a big plus for sure, just to have additional attack options against your opponent, but the gauge setup is a big plus for sure with this card, and then the draw power also for that is another added plus also. And I'm also running 3 of the original Flare Fang Dragon with Flare Gift when it enters the field. If you have another Sun Dragon on the field, put the top card of your deck in your gauge and draw a card. So if you set up your loyal Flare Fang, Flare Fang Dragon, calling out Flare Fang, giving you the extra gauge power with this card. Then if you call out Soleil by placing it into its soul, you can at least keep Flare Fang on the field to use. I only run 3 of each though, since they're once per turn effects. You don't want to have multiples in your hand. You want to try and at least open up different copies of all of them to use. So relying on this is a big help for sure. And for the new support as well, I am running 4 Egg of the Sun Ball Dragon. When this card enters the field, put up to 1 size 2 or greater monster with Ball Dragon or Ball Soleil and its card name from your deck into your drop zone and shuffle your deck. You may put this card from your field into the soul of a size 2 or greater monster with Ball Dragon or Ball Soleil and its card name. If you do, draw a card. And the Sun Dragon with this card's soul cannot be destroyed and soul cannot be dropped by your opponent's card effects. So with this, if you have Apical Sun Deity and then you want to go for the overturn play since you don't have the impact monster, you can even skip that other step and put the impact monster in the drop zone with your Egg of the Sun Ball Dragon. But just having that additional step means for another Ball Dragon to call out on top of it while also giving you draw power with this card for the setup. It is a big plus for sure. Then just being able to protect its soul with your Egg of the Sun Ball Dragon means you definitely want to run 4 of this just for that overall surge power you have with this card all together. And I am also running 2 Flare Fang Dragon SD. With this card, it cannot be called to the center, and if your opponent has no monsters in the center, it gets power plus 3,000. And during your turn, when a monster in your opponent's field is destroyed, draw a card, and this ability only activates once per turn. So you have draw power, and I just wanted another size 0 option with the deck, so I could just have the power to have multiples on the field with Bao Soleil as well. It can't be called to the center, but just having this or Loyal Flare Fang on the field is a big plus for sure. And most of the time with Egg of the Sun, it's going to go into the soul of my Bao Soleil on the field to protect its soul from being dropped by other cards. And then for the actual Bao Soleil I'm running in the deck, I am running 3 Transcend Sun Dragon Bao Soleil Future, with this one being your main go-to Bao Soleil. Probably one of my favorites for its overall setup. You put 1 or more monsters from your field into its soul and pay 3 gauge. And if this card is basically has soul, damage you take is reduced by 2. And this card gets plus 4,000 power and defense. And at the start of each player's attack phase, nullify the abilities of monsters on your opponent's center and destroy them. So just being able to completely clear out your opponent's center is a big plus for sure. This card also has triple attack and soul guard. It also belongs to Star Dragon World, and Darkness Dragon World, so meaning you can also use it with a bunch of other different spells, which we'll show when we get to the spells in the deck. But just having the 12,000 power means for a big plus, and the fact that Apical Sun Deity Bao Dragon can easily call this card out on top of it without paying its call cost means you'll have the soul set up for your Apical Sun Deity, and then just being able to place Bao Soleil on top of it, and then use Egg of the Sun as well for additional draw power and soul build up also. I only run the 3 though. You can easily set it up with Egg of the Sun, and then you don't really need multiple copies otherwise once it's set up in the drop zone and ready to go. And now for our impact monsters, I'm running 3 of the Bao Dragon Ball Saucer Infinity Strike. This is the newest impact monster. I'd definitely say one of the best ones we have. For its call cost, you put this card on top of a Sun Dragon monster on your field and pay 2 gauge. When this card link attacks with a Sun Dragon item, drop 1 to your opponent's gauge and deal 1 damage to your opponent. So with your Apical Sun Deity, making it so your opponent's damage can't be reduced, that's a big plus for sure. Also having Penetrate and Soul Guard. If you have a Sun Dragon item equipped, you may pay 1 gauge to stand this card. So it's basically like Ball Saucer Overrush, being able to keep on re-standing this card as well for just the paying of 1 gauge. Only run the 3 of it though. Once again, you can easily set this card up or search it out, so you have those options available to you. For the additional backup impact monsters, I'm also running 1 Ball Dragon Ball Burst Smasher, just for the first turn damage you can do with this card. That's why I like to run the 1 of it. And also the 1 Bao Dragon Ball Blaster Grand Bolt, for the fact that this card can attack everything on the field. So if your opponent has a pesky monster or monsters on the field you want to clear out and you don't have enough gauge to go with, for the Ball Saucer Infinity Strike, you have the option for Grand Bolt to clear out the whole field as well. But just the 1-ofs for these options, with the overturn being another option, I can just rely on this. And most of the time I go for the Ball Saucer Infinity Strike most of the time anyway. And for our item that we are running in the deck, I'm running 3 Dragon Force Sun's Bullet. I only run 3 of it once you equip it. it's just incredibly difficult for your opponent to get rid of it. It's also searchable with Style of Impact Ball Dragon, and you only really need the one of it, and its release condition is just having a size 2 or greater monster with Ball Dragon or Ball Soleil and its card name on the field. And this card on the field cannot be destroyed or returned to the hand. Its abilities cannot be nullified, and when this card attacks with another Sun Dragon, you stand this card. So like I said, you can get basically, if you have the gauge to put, pay the cost for, you can get as many attacks in as you want with this card. And at the start of your final phase, stand this card, and it can also attack during the final phase. Having Penetrate for that additional damage you can do when it is link attacking with your Ball Dragon, Ball Saucer, Infinity Strike means they'll both inflict Penetrate damage to your opponent, and just being able to keep on restanding them as long as you pay the gauge cost for Infinity Strike also. And that is it for the items and the monsters. Now moving on to the spells. I am running 4 Sun Dragon Shield. This is just a great way to build up gauge in life. Most of the time your center is going to be open because of Bao Soleil, so just having this option for protection means that you can at least protect against some attacks your opponent may lay on against you also. Just having it for that reliable shield power, and it being the fact that if you have 2 Sun Dragons on the field, it won't be able to be nullified either, is a big plus for sure. And I am also running 3 Sun Deities Buddy. You may only cast this if you have a Sun Dragon on your field. You put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge. Then if you have another monster of Bao Soleil, its card name, gain 2 life and draw a card. So the draw power, gauge, and the overall life gain is a big plus for this card. And you most of the time will have Bao Soleil easily on the field to use this card to go with also. And I am also running 4 of the new Sunshine Power Charge. You choose and use one of the following. You may only cast Sunshine Power Charge once per turn. Put the top card of your deck. Excuse me, after talking so much and saying the same Bao Dragon so much, definitely does catch up with you. You put the top card of your deck in your gauge, you gain 1 life for each different world on the field. So Bao Soleil being from 3 different worlds means you'll have that easy setup as well. And then just being able to call up to 1 size 2 or greater monster with Ball Dragon or Ball Soleil and its card name from your drop zone without paying its call cost is a big plus for this one for sure. And then just being able to run the 4 of it for that setup means you definitely want to. It's only a once per turn, remember that, but still a great option to rely on also. And then I am also running 3 Warlord's Sword Release. You pay 1 gauge and 2 life, which is easily able to do. And then you draw cards equal to the number of different world names on your field. So you'll draw 3 with Bao Soleil on the field with this card. So remember that. It's an awesome plus for sure. But you'll get to draw 1 if you don't have it. But most of the time, I only do like to activate this spell when I do have Bao Soleil on the field, because a +3 for just a gauge and 2 life can definitely be easily paid with this card on the field. And I also run 2 Bestest Bao whenever I go for the impact call during the final phase. This was a definite plus for sure, just to give me that additional gauge. And the draw 2 can definitely help depending on what card I may end up winding into, or just grabbing a Sun Dragon Shield to help also. And then to finish off the spells and the rest of the deck, I am running 2 of the new Grace of the Sun Deity. You choose one of the following, being also a counter spell is a big plus for sure. It's my best way to protect Bao Soleil on the field. For this turn, you cannot take damage by your opponent's card effects, or you can choose a card on the field, and this turn the chosen card cannot be destroyed or leave the field, and its soul cannot be dropped by your opponent's card effects. So if you have Bao Soleil, your opponent will basically just have to attack into it. Otherwise, the damage that they'll try to deal to you will keep on being reduced by 2. So if you have Bao Soleil on your left or your right, so if it's on the right or the left, you'll just have to have your opponent swing into it, hopefully. If you don't have any other shield protection, they'll have to destroy this card before they can even think of dealing damage to you. So it's an awesome generic spell. I can definitely see it being used in a bunch of other decks also. We'll just have to wait and see how else this mini Athora-like card will be implemented in future decks. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Definitely having a lot of fun with the Super Buddy Wars EX booster set and all the different support we have for all the decks from that set. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.